So I harvested all of these acorns from the front, and so now I'm going to wash them. So I'm just going to put them in the sink. Rinse them out. So now I'm going to fill them with water and see which ones float to the top. The ones that float to the top are no good, so we would have to get rid of those. So let's just fill this up. And you can already see the ones that are floating up. And there's not that many. So that's interesting. It creeped me out. I thought it was a bug. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them that are no good. So I'm just going to put those in my compost. So I'm going to let these soak a little bit, just for a few minutes, see how there's some rising, which might have been held down from some of the other heavier ones. So a couple more rows up. Okay. Some will have holes in them where the little, I don't know if you can see that, the little weevils or bugs. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I'll just kind of move it around a little bit to get the ones that are floating to come up. Acorns. So now I'm just going to put out some towels right over here and lay them out to dry. I had my lemongrass on here, I was drying out. So I'm going to lay them out on the towel in a single layer so that they can start to dry. And then the next step is going to be to open them and get the meat out of them. So I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to continue to put them out. I still have quite a bit in here, and then I'll bring the video back on when I'm ready to crack them open and show you the next steps. So now what I'm doing is I'm just getting the acorns and cracking them. Now I'm using this garlic press, but you can use either a meat tenderizer or you can use a nut cracker. And I do have a nutcracker, but I thought with this I can put, you know, several in here at a time. And sometimes you're gonna even find some little worms in here. If the acorns that had a small hole in them, like this one here, I don't know if you can see that. I mean, this one's already cracked. I accidentally cracked it. But if you didn't catch that, then you will find worms in it. I killed one a little while ago. I should have videotaped it, but I didn't. So basically what you do is you break open all of the acorns, and some will get stuck in there. So you can use a tool if you have either a small knife or like a lobster pick or something like that. You can pick it out. And what you want to do is just put the meat of the acorn into water. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting it into the water here. So I'm going to continue to break these open and put them in the water. Now some are going to break easier. Some are released easier than others. See this one? And if you see this, the little brown skin, I mean, it's better if you do take it out. That one's a little hard. And so if you like smash it a whole lot, it's fine, because you're going to end up grinding all of these anyways. So just continue to do that until you're done with them. It is a tedious process, but I mean, I think it's worth it, especially if you have a ton of oak trees and they're releasing their acorns. Why not? Like I said, some are going to be easier than others. So I'm going to continue to work with this, and then I'll show you the finished product. I have all of those that I'm going to do. All right, guys. Well, I will start recording a little bit more once I get most of these done. So this is what it's going to look like once you have dumped out the water. So I am going to go ahead and put clean water now. Okay guys, so this is the final rinse. This is already day 5. This is day 5, and now you can see how the water is more translucent, which is what we want. That's exactly what we want, is for the water to come out clear. So I'm going to rinse it one more time, and today I'm going to let it set out for the remainder of the day, and then toward the evening is when I'm going to start the next step of the process of the processing. Okay, I just want to show you guys, I've rinsed it again, and I've kind of like twisted it in there and mashed it together. You know, just kind of washing the acorns really well, and the water's still coming out clear. I know there's like a small little tint there, and that's because of the movement and everything. But I've already washed it, ran it through a very thin strainer several times, and it's still, the water's still coming out, you know, semi-clear, which is what you want. Because when you initially start, the water's always going to be extremely murky, very dirty, because it's leaching, you know, all the substance in there that makes it bitter. So this is what you want. You want it to be, you know, clear. So like I said, I'm gonna let it sit like this, and then toward the end of the day, I'm gonna start the process, and I'm gonna rinse it again a couple of times, and then I'll start the next process. Okay, so what I went ahead I did was I layered the acorns in this baking dish, and what you want to do is just kind of make sure that they're evenly layered so that you don't have too much bunching. And so what I had to do was put some other, you know, get another batch, because it was a little too thick in the silver one. And so you just want to kind of flatten it out a little bit, just to make sure that you don't have too many that are bunched. So I'm just gently spreading them out. And they're going to go in the oven, like I said, at 170, between 170 and 175. Again, you're not trying to bake them, you're just trying to dehydrate them and get all the moisture out so that you can use it as flour. All right, so I'm going to put it in the oven, and then I'll bring them back out and mix them, kind of turn them a little bit once I am done, and I'll show you guys that process. So I'm going to keep, you know, patting it out until I kind of fill these little areas here, just to make sure that I don't have too much of it bunching up. See, like that, there's a lot right there that are kind of bunched up. And again, you know, if you have any whole pieces, cut them up in half. I had several whole acorns that I had to come in here and break, and they're pretty easy to break. You just grab them and, you know, cut them in half. So now I had the whole pieces, but these halves I think I'm gonna leave that way. I did break several of them. All right, so I will show you the next step here shortly. Okay, it has been an hour, and this is what the acorns look like. This is the other one. They still feel a little moist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix them, try them, and then I'll put them back in the Alright guys, so what I did was I put it in my Ninja to kind of break it down, because these pieces, they are a little too big, and they're still retaining a lot of moisture. And so I think I'm going to do the rest of this, put it in the Ninja, and then spread it out again. I wanted to show this to you guys. So I ground it down in the food processor, or not the food processor, I have a Ninja, and it's pretty powdery, but it still feels very, very moist. So I know, look at this chunk, very feels gummy because of the moisture. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to help really dry it out. Okay, so what I did was I'm just kind of breaking up the big chunks, and then just kind of trying to evenly layer it so that we can put it back in the oven. But before I put it in the oven, I'm going to grab this other batch. Looks like some of it is sticking. Obviously some of it did stick actually. Oh, okay, well it's coming undone pretty easy. Don't want it flying everywhere. Instead of waiting an hour to move this around, I think I'm going to just put it in 30 minutes and then come back and turn it and then go from there. And I'm going to leave this out because I do want to grind it finer than this. So there you have it. And that's one batch. And here's the other batch. There's some bigger chunks in here that should probably break up. There you go. I'm gonna put it back in the oven for another 30 minutes and I'm gonna bring it out and then mix it up and then put it back in there. And I'll just kind of go like that until it's completely dry. All right, guys, I will keep you posted on the next turning of the acorns. All right, so the house smells like acorn. And the smell, I can't describe what it smells like. It kind of reminds me like pumpkin or something, I don't know. I can't describe it, it's just, it's a weird smell. Not weird, just different. So let's take a look. Oh yes, okay, perfect. So it is completely dry now. Oh yeah, that's exactly. Yep, it's super dry. And this is what we want. Oh yeah. This is perfect. So there you have it, guys. And that is how you make your own or process your own acorn flour. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned a thing or two, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. So the next thing I want to do is bake something, make something with it. So stay tuned so that you can see what we make out of all this. All right, God bless you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Okay, so I have ground down the acorn bits to a more finer powder. So what I just basically did was I put it in my Ninja and so there you go. I'll do the rest of it. I just wanted to come back and show you guys, you know, that this is a lot. This is way too coarse. Some people even make coffee out of these acorn once it's been, you know, roasted. But I don't know if I would want to make coffee out of it, because I like coffee for the caffeine in it. But I guess if you want the nutrients out of the acorn, you could do that. But I do want to try a recipe that I'm going to show you guys. So like I said earlier, stay tuned.